Hi, it's Sally-Shakti, and this is a moon journaling practice. Today, we're going to focus on the seasons and the calendar year. These days in between the 2 years have a very liminal feel about them. And lots of people that I've been listening to recently have been speaking about what's called the intercalary days or the omen days, the days that were added into the calendar in the Middle Ages, or perhaps before, to reconcile the calendar year. And at this time in the deep winter, as it is here in the Northern Hemisphere, just around and after the winter solstice, there's a real sense in my body, maybe in yours too, that this is a time to go within. And that in these, what have been called the omen days, there's a deeper invitation to connect with the dreaming world. And as I've been dreaming and divining through this dark period of the year, I've developed an intuitive sense that this might have been a time when my ancient ancestors on the lands of these British Isles, Neolithic, Paleolithic, and before, that this might have been a time when they were participating in rituals of collective dreaming and co-creation. I can imagine at this time when people would have been, by necessity, dwelling in caves, wrapped up in animal furs. And there is archaeological evidence of cave art, and some people, and myself included, interpret that ritually as well as creatively. My sense is that at the time when my ancestors, and collectively our ancestors globally, were living a lot closer to the land and in a lot more deep reverence and connection with the land and the stars. And we see megalithic monuments such as, some of my favorites in this country, Stonehenge, Avebury, West Kennet Longbarrow, Silbury Hill. There's a whole ritual landscape there. And that is echoed across the globe on pretty much every continent. And those monuments are in some ways monuments to the stars and the solar cycles and the seasons. Stonehenge is aligned with the sunrise on the winter solstice. So this is a particularly powerful time, or was a particularly powerful time for those ancient ancestors. And I'm thinking of echoes back to Neolithic, Paleolithic, and before. I'm thinking about, I've been listening to a lot of folk tales and fairy stories recently, and also digging into the archaeology of the British Isles and listening to a lot of different podcasts with people talking about these omen days and the weaving of the weird, the web of weird, WYRD, which is the threads that make up everything, all life and the whole world and all the universes. So my sense, as I've been dreaming and divining, is that this threshold between the years in the deepest winter here in the Northern Hemisphere is a powerful time for connecting with our dreams. And we might be working with dreaming and divining. And for me, that's also an invitation into greater participation and co-creation with the dreaming world. But it starts with listening and receptivity and opening ourselves to relationship, kinship with the world around us and with the dreaming world that is both within and around us and collectively woven. So as I've been dreaming and divining these past days, I've also come up with a set of questions and a version of this practice that I want to share with you through journaling, because for me, journaling is a really powerful way of accessing that deeper part of myself that could be called the dreaming world, the subconscious, those parts of myself that are not necessarily easily accessible to me in my daily life. But when I meet myself on the page, that is a powerful and brave process. It takes a lot of courage to keep showing up and meeting oneself on the page. And there can be a lot of rich treasure found there too, when we really allow ourselves to relax and open and dive deep into this portal. So I'm going to invite you into a journaling practice. You'll need really preferably a notebook and pen, so that this is a physical practice. It's really, there is a different quality to this practice when we practice it physically and feel the physical connection between our bodies and the pen and the page through our hands. But if that's not possible or practical for you, then whatever you journal with, you will still get results. And you'll still be invited deep into this journey. So if you don't have those things with you now, pause the video and get yourself comfortable with your notebook and pen or your journaling technology, and really find yourself into a comfortable position in your body, in your seat. And we'll take some time to deepen into the breath. And we'll begin to notice breath, the breathing, all the way down into the base of the belly, down to the base of the spine. Inviting some sound on the out breath to help relax the nervous system. It also helps to create the openness and the deeper sensitivity that we're inviting into our practice here today. When we breathe through the mouth and when we make sound on the exhale, we become more open and more sensitive. More sensitive to the subtle realms and sensations that might arise through our practice today. And then connecting with our bodies, maybe bringing in some gentle movement just to orientate ourselves on the seat and find our place of comfort. If you need to get up and move before you come to a place of comfort, again, feel free to pause the video and take whatever movement you need. And when you're ready, coming to a place of stillness. I'm feeling now the contact, the connection between your body and the seat. Breathing deep into the hips, base of the spine, feeling the support of the seat underneath you. And then deepening even down into the soles of the feet and deep down through your own roots into the belly of the earth. And we dive deep down into the belly of the earth, where life itself is sleeping and dreaming. So with our breath, we dive down into the dreaming space and we draw up from the dreaming space, through our own roots, into the base of the spine, and all the way up the body, through the spine to the crown of the head. And we take a few breaths here, anchoring and rooting into the dreaming belly of the earth. And drawing all the way up from the dreaming belly, all the way up through your own roots, your own spine, your body to the crown of your head. And again, sending your awareness down with your out breath and drawing up with your inhale. And with that connection established, we continue to breathe with awareness of our bodies. And we allow our pens to make contact with the page. And we allow the pen to move on the page however it wishes to, whatever speed, whatever direction, whatever momentum, without judgment, without stopping. The sensation is to practice an awareness of the physical connection between your body and the page through the movement of your pen, and to stay connected with your breath, anchoring and rooting down into the belly of the earth, drawing up through your own spine to the crown of your head and creating like a cycle or a circuit. Breath and awareness. Staying connected to your body through your hips, supported by the seat. And the pen, as you move the pen across the page, wherever it will, however it will. This is your transition into the dreaming state. And so we allow the mind to wander and relax, open and relax. And we notice in our connection with the cosmos that the moon is currently right up there next to Jupiter in Aries. And so we can connect in also with the fire in our belly, the fire at the solar plexus, just behind and above the navel, between the belly button and the heart. So we have our anchor points here in this practice, and those anchor points allow us to relax, open the mind, and focus on the physical sensation of the pen moving across the page. Diving deep into the dreaming space, rooted in the breath, rooted through our breath into the belly of the earth, drawing up from the dreaming, all the way up the spine to the crown of the head and back again. And as we allow the pen to move and allow the pen to continue to move, my invitation to you is to either stay with this practice and just let your mind move through the prompts that I'm about to give you, or to allow this practice to gently transition into words and give yourself full permission to write whatever is present and true for you. So you can take this practice in any direction. If you're still, or if you're diving deep into the dreaming and you just want to keep moving the pen, Just allow my words to float through you and allow the prompts to take you where they will as your pen moves across the page. And if you want to have a bit more fire and a bit more focus, allow the practice to form into words so that you're moving this dreaming through you in the form of words and language. So, aligning with your breath, staying with the movement of the pen across the page, and preparing to receive the prompts. And so, with your mind open, your heart open, and the fire burning in your belly, and your roots anchored deeply into the dreaming, allow yourself to respond in whichever way you choose to these prompts. The first prompt is, what are the stories that you are ready to release? Allow yourself to write or to continue moving your pen across the page and keeping the same practice, the same process that we've just been in, the softness, the looseness, the openness to going in whichever direction your hand takes you or the words take you. This is not a time to be trying to figure it out or setting our own agenda. This is a listening time, a dreaming time, time to be open to the portals and portents that are awakening in the earth and speaking, whispering through the threads of life to us in this moment. So as your hand continues to move across the page, either forming words or continuing to move randomly, what are the stories that you are ready to release at this threshold time of the year? Keeping a connection with your breath, anchored and rooted down into the dreaming earth. And allow your hand, your mind, your words to take you where they will. What are the stories that you are ready to release? And the second prompt is, what are the stories that you are ready to co-create? What are the stories that you are ready to co-create? Again, allowing yourself to listen and divine. Let your hand and your mind wander where they will across the page. As you tune in through your breathing, through the movement of your hand across the page, you're learning to meet yourself here without an agenda, without trying to control the outcome, but listening and seeing and noticing what is there for you, what is true for you right now. Keeping connected to your breath, your body, and the fire in your belly. Breathe, and we dream together. And you also dream in a deeply personal place that's just for you. Nobody else needs to read what you've written. This is your writing, your time, your opportunity to connect with the dreaming earth and to form a deeper relationship, a deeper kinship with the dreaming of the earth, so that you might more fully and powerfully participate in its co-creation through the living of your life. And the final question, the final prompt: what are the stories that are asking for your attention? What are the stories that are asking for your attention? This might be a tricky one, and I would say that this and all of the prompts, all of the inquiries that you're making as you reach into the dreaming earth will stay with you through this threshold time and begin to show you what it is you need to see. The shadows that need to be integrated. And this is an opportunity with this inquiry to be fully present and truthful with yourself. What are the parts of yourself that perhaps you've been trying to hide, or you've been ashamed of, or that have kept coming up in repeated behavior patterns, and that are looking for acknowledgement, are seeking to be witnessed with compassion, because that can become part of a deeper integration. And when we can integrate those shadow parts of ourselves with compassion through witnessing without judgment, as we meet ourselves here on the page, each time we can do that, we anchor a little bit more deeply into the strength of ourselves and the truth of ourselves. So this is strong and powerful work, and we're asking for the help and the support and the guidance and the wisdom of the dreaming earth to support us as we move intentionally, or more intentionally at least, through this portal of the thresholds between the years. And over the next few days, as the year is in transition and we are still in this dark and dreaming time here in the Northern Hemisphere, I encourage you to come back to these inquiries, to come back to this practice, and to notice with compassion for yourself what arises and what's arising. This can be a really, really powerful tool and process for entering the next seasonal cycle with a little bit more intention, a little bit more awareness, self-awareness, and more power to participate in the co-creation of the world to come, the year to come, the cycle to come, through our own actions and behaviors and the stories that we tell through our own lives. Oh, bringing the practice to a close and coming back into your body. Maybe giving yourself an opportunity to stretch out and move. Opening up the mouth. We can get stuck in locked jaw position. So we want to give as much freedom and movement to the body as possible. And then we can shake this practice off for now and come back up, out into the light of our day. And I invite you, as and when you feel called to return to this practice, to continue your inquiry throughout this threshold of the years. And to let it work within you at a deeper level as you go about the business of your day. So thank you so much for being here with me. And I'm sending you so much love for your deep dive into the portal of this threshold time, these dreaming days of winter. Lots of love.